Winston Churchill once said,
World of Warcraft is a lottery, wrapped in a casino, tucked inside a theme park.
And maybe he didn't say exactly that, but if he did, he would have been touching on a concept from the field of economics called time preference theory. A concept that helps to explain why someone might compromise their health and safety to acquire a difficult-to-obtain item in a video game, and also how someone might use that same video game to develop habits and character traits that equip them to run a successful business. In this video, we're going to explore time preference theory through the World of Warcraft. What exactly is it that would lead someone to engage in risky behavior for a small reward? Why are some people so risk-averse that they die with billions of dollars they've never touched? If you make it all the way to the end of the video, you'll even learn how Asmongold is a living, breathing Warcraft time preference paradox. Let's start by figuring out exactly what time preference theory is. Meet Mary. We don't know her actual name or if she was even a real human, but on April 4th, 2007, she posted on Craigslist that she wanted an epic flying mount and was willing to do, intimate things for it. Now meet Rob, that's his real name. In 2006, Rob quit his job to play World of Warcraft full-time while his kids were at school and his peers were working on their careers. At this point in both of their stories, Mary and Rob seem like they have a foolishly high time preference. They're willing to pay a much higher cost than most of their peers to obtain items in and play video games. In economics, people with high time preference want their rewards right now, just like Mary and Rob, who put themselves in potentially dangerous positions for a video game. Outside of Azeroth, this might be comparable to someone who maxes out a high interest rate credit card to buy a pair of sneakers or goes skydiving for a nice dopamine hit. Now meet Chuck. I just made Chuck up. Chuck is a responsible World of Warcraft player. During the day, Chuck plays some WoW, he pugs some M+, and gets ahead of the curve with his guild every raid tier. At night, Chuck bartends at the Applebee's, where he makes a decent wage as long as he's willing to flirt with cougars who are getting a little long in the tooth. Chuck has paid off his mortgage and would never dream of buying a WoW token. Chuck invests in his 401k reliably and cooks all his meals at home or eats for free at Applebee's. One day, Chuck might be a unicorn millennial and actually retire. An economist might say that Chuck has a low time preference. People with low time preferences are willing to wait for bigger rewards later. They value saving and responsibly avoid squandering their money. So is time preference something you're born with, like your eye color or your irrational fear of murlocs? Or is it more like your skill in PvP or organic chemistry, something you can develop and refine over time? Are Mary and Rob doomed to a high time preference forever, chasing instant rewards like a goblin chases a loose cog? Or can they, like Chuck, learn to bide their time and reap greater rewards later? It's a question that makes you wonder, can we change our fundamental nature, or are we just playing the hand we're dealt? Let's talk about the marshmallow test. In the original study, kids were given a choice: eat 1 marshmallow now, or wait 15 minutes and get 2. It was a simple test of delayed gratification, and it turned out the kids who waited generally had better life outcomes. Later studies added some twists. One showed that when kids experienced broken promises before the test, they were less likely to wait for the second marshmallow. Past experience, it seems, plays a crucial role in our ability to delay gratification. Cross-cultural studies added even more depth. In Japan, for example, children were more likely to wait than their American counterparts. Apparently, cultural values and upbringing influence time preference, with some societies fostering patience and others a penchant for instant rewards. So whether it's about marshmallows or epic mounts in Azeroth, our ability to wait for a better reward isn't just about innate self-control. It seems it's shaped by our experiences and our culture. So we've got our marshmallows, broken trust, and cultural quirks. But what about the possibility of change? Can people actually develop new habits and switch their time preference? Or are we stuck in our ways? We seem to instinctively know that change from low to high time preference is possible. Look at WoW itself. In the beginning, World of Warcraft was the epitome of a low time preference game. Players had to invest massive amounts of time into their characters, grinding for gear, reputation, and achievements. The journey was long and the rewards were hard-earned, a testament to patience and perseverance. Fast forward to today. Things have changed quite a bit. Now you can buy a character boost for $60 and jump straight into the action. The most popular content revolves around a 30 to 40 minute gameplay loop, like Mythic Plus dungeons or battlegrounds, offering quick bursts of excitement and immediate rewards. This shift mirrors broader trends in gaming and society, where instant gratification often takes precedence over long-term investment. It's a fascinating evolution that reflects our changing time preferences, both in the virtual world of Azeroth and in our real lives. But can we change for the better? Imagine this, you're a rogue trying to learn a new rotation. At first it's awkward, you miss your cooldown, screw up your opener, and your DPS slaps like a wet noodle. But with practice, you start to get the hang of it. After a while, you're topping the meters. That's all good when it comes to pushing buttons, but can the same be said of our ability to change our time preference? Studies show that people can develop new habits. It's like training a pet. Only instead of teaching your Voidwalker to fetch, you're teaching yourself to delay gratification. One study had participants set daily goals and track their progress. Over time, they became better at waiting for rewards. It's like going from being the impatient warrior charging headfirst into battle to the methodical mage, the main characters of WoW, who carefully plan each spell to save the day and their own hides. And who wouldn't want to improve? Whether it's holding out for a second marshmallow, resisting the urge to blow your paycheck on loot boxes, or saving for a nice vacation, developing new habits and working out the self-control muscle might even turn the most impulsive goblin into a strategic mastermind. So maybe Mary and Rob can change their ways. Maybe there's hope for the rest of us loot-hungry adventurers? But just like we found out about Dany in Game of Thrones, and we are going to find out about the Warcraft Titans, twists abound and our expectations are often subverted. Remember Rob, our high time preference friend who quit his job to play WoW? Well, it turns out that Robert founded Glassdoor, a company that sold for over $1 billion in 2018. He used his time in WoW to gain an intimate understanding of online community, and then built and ran something that's basically Raider.io for corporate America. And what about Chuck, our responsible, low time preference hero? Chuck might seem like he's got it all figured out right now, balancing his WoW rating with a steady job and financial planning, but Chuck doesn't have a family, and as he's getting older, it's becoming clear that financial security is not everything. Without prioritizing relationships and personal fulfillment, where is Chuck going to end up? And let's not forget about Asmongold. I'm using this video to propose my Asmongold horseshoe theory of time preference. His time preference was so high, grinding endlessly, streaming nonstop, that it resulted in low time preference behavior. He built a massive following, and now he's the Howard Hughes of streamers. His relentless focus on immediately gratifying content creation turned into a long-term penis rocket computer-building empire, with his bank account balance dwarfing the urine-filled Burger King cups that surround him as he streams. Just kidding about the urine cups, I hope. Let he who is without roaches throw the first stone. It's important to acknowledge the uncertainties and unknowns in the data concerning time preference. While we've explored how time preference can shape our decisions and behaviors, it's clear that this is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Time preference theory might prove to be useful vocabulary for identifying certain behaviors in ourselves and others, but it's just one concept, and we are often much more complex beings than economists might like to admit. But maybe reflect on your own time preference behaviors. Are you more likely to chase instant gratification? Or are you planning meticulously for the future at the expense of the present? Identify your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe your high time preference drives your creativity and spontaneity, or your low time preference fosters stability and long-term success. But maybe you could strike a more ideal balance of time preference. Whether you're farming gold in Azeroth or making career choices in the real world, finding a better balance, building some self-control, or realizing that you simply cannot control or plan for everything might lead to a more fulfilling and successful journey. Thanks for joining me on this journey today. YouTube thinks that your high time preference self will enjoy this video right here.